What's up, guys? Here we are for our third day for Fencing, Indiana training the end of July. Hot as hell out here. We bring our AC with us to the job sites, tents, keep ourselves cool. But today's King Plus. There's a lot going on with King Plus. Stay tuned, watch the rest of this video. We're gonna give you all the tips and tricks on how we suggest you build the strongest wood fence known to man. What we have here, this is a KING+PostBoxThrone. This is a jig that we've created to make it really easy to build boxes. That's what we call these for King+. They cover the steel post in the field relatively quickly, little to no stress, very accurately and fast, right? Using this tool. One guy can build a box in a minute. That's pretty fast to me. It takes one guy about a minute, maybe two, to drive a post. So as long as building the box is no longer than it takes to pound the post, then a two-man team can be pounding and building, and the boxes are built as fast as the posts are getting pounded in the ground. And then the boxes just get covered over the post like that, ready for rails. And I'll give you all the details on how to use this box and how to use all these pieces that come with it. Let's talk about how to build a King+ box using the PostBoxThrone, which is what this is. That's going to allow us to build these boxes that look like this. This is what's sliding over the post that we just drove. We have an opening inside here of 2.5 inches, and those posts are 2 3/8, so it's a pretty good fit. This picket is 5.5 inches wide, so as long as you keep it flush on both sides, you end up with the proper gap inside. Okay, just by chance worked out pretty well. This box right here that you're looking at is built with a staggered top. This is how a gate box should look if you're using 2.5 inch posts, if that's what you're using for a gate post, or it'd be a latch post. This is staggered. This 2x4 is 67 inches. That's gonna leave you about 1.5 inches to 2 inches off the ground. Finish height of the fence, the gap below will be 1.5 inches to 2 inches if you build a 67-inch box. That means this right here is 67 inches long. If you want the fence to be lower to the ground, you would build this at 66. From be higher at the ground, you'd build this at 68. We recommend a 67, seems to work pretty well, and a 5.5 inch reveal when you're done on the picket. Okay. The way King+ works is there's gonna be another 2x4 laid on top, flat, on top of this 2x4. So that's gonna make that another 1.5 inches taller. So your 67-inch box is gonna end up being 68.5 from the ground. And then you add your 5.5 inches of reveal on top of that, okay? That's gonna give you your gap under the fence. The gate box has a one that's 69 inches, or 2 inches taller than the standard box. So if you use a 67, this will be a 69. If you make that a 68, this will be a 70. If you make this a 66, this will be a 68. Does that make sense? The reason for this is as we come into the gate with our top rail, and I'm going through the gate right now, so Sean King's walking through the gate opening, and the gate's open, and I look at my support post, I don't want to see the end of that 2x4 rail poking at me. Because as we have grade changes with King+, this is a pretty wide box. That rail may touch here, it might have a 1/2 inch gap over here. That's going to be unsightly and very stressful for you to get that tight. So to eliminate that stress, we just make this longer. And that 2x4 can come in here and it can be raised or lowered and the homeowner's not going to see it. You're not going to see it. It's a very clean connection that way, all right? That's why that's go that way. And then there'll be one more 2x4. It'll be on the front, the same length as this taller one. It'll be right here, okay? That's the way the gate box is done. There's 3 on the gate box. We are switching to a 3-inch post for our gates instead of the 2.5. The 2.5 works fine with a X-wing. You're in good shape. We're finding that with the 3-inch post, we have even less flex in the hinge post without an X-wing. Okay, so we save a little bit of money on the X-wing. We spend a little bit more money on the post. But this doesn't fit. Or this fits. So if you're going to use a 3-inch post like we are today, you have to use a 6-inch picket. So you buy a full 6-inch for your gate post. Method is the same, flush on both sides, 6-inch picket, and then this would fit right inside there. okay? For today, I don't have a 6-inch picket, so I'm gonna show you how you can do it with a 1/4-inch reveal on both sides of the 2x4 using the box. Or not using the box, we're using a post, okay? First, I wanna show you how to build a normal box. So, I'm gonna mark 2 2x4s at 67 inches for a normal box. We would put cut side in the ground. Don't worry about trying to square that cut. It's gonna be in the dirt. It's not that big a deal. .67-inch. Cut side in the ground. Okay, goes in the box just like that. It's gonna touch the top of the box on both sides. You're gonna take your picket, lay it on the box, and butt it into here. If you butt it where it stops there, flush on both sides. Okay, now I'm ready to nail. The box has marks for where the nail at, so that indentation and this one, and this one, and this one, and this one is where I place my nails so that my boxes have a clean, consistent nail pattern visually when we look at the fence. It also ensures I get the right number of nails in the right spot, so we can repeat this process and predict the results of a good, strong box. We also recommend a 3-inch nail. This is a double hot dip ring shank galvanized nail with the glue. It's a very strong nail to be using. We use it for all the framework, and it's blue. So blue's always better, right? Blue's stronger. But we're gonna use this nail for this picket. We were using the little picket nails for a while. There's a lot of structure integrity on this fence from this box. So let's use the 3-inch nails and get a good positive contact connection between the picket and the 2x4. If you notice, it's a little bit overhanging. So before I nail, I'd slide this over, get it flush, nail it, slide it back, get it flush and nail it. A little bit of movement back there. We don't want to have a reveal here, a lip, because that makes the box could potentially be too small to fit this inside it. All right, so give yourself a little bit of room there. Before you nail it, I would also suggest that you mark the 2x4. See that where it says rail? And it says rail, and guess what it says rail? That is where the rails are going to be on the fence. So if you just mark it now, when the boxes are packed out, we don't got to mark it out there. All we got to do is mark the top of the rail. So I take this, turn it sideways, here, there, face the marks down. Do both sides to make it easy on the guys installing rails. I only need to mark the top of the rail. And I don't need to mark the top rail. That's pretty obvious where that goes, right? Face them down. I'll pick it on there. Hopefully that compressor's still running. It should not take you more than 1 minute to build a box by yourself, marked out. It looks like that. Nice and neat. That 2x4 is to sit on top of that. We'll have a 5.5-inch real build when we're done. Okay, that's how we build a standard box. Now, in order to build a gate box, we would need a 69-inch 2x4 and a 67-inch 2x4, right? Now there's a right and a left to these boxes. As you build a gate box, Notice that this box, rails will be out here, the outside of the fence will be out here. That means my gate will be on this side of it. If I use this on the other side of the gate opening, the rails, that doesn't work. So you have a right and a left. So you would build a box with a long 2x4 on this side, then you'd build a box with a long 2x4 on that side. Now, there's my 67. I'm going to mark my 67. I'm not going to mark my 69. Why? If I mark my 69 from the top down, my marks will be off 2 inches. So I'm not going to mark it. It's okay. You only have rails coming in one side of that gate box, and it's not on the 69-inch side. So I need a box over there built just like this one, but for 3-inch. So the long is on that side, short is on this side. So marks down, pick it. You can put this 2x4 in, but don't nail it. I'm nailing the downhill side of that box first, okay, all the way. Width, in my case, I gotta make room for this, so I'm gonna do a 1/4 inch reveal to make room for that pipe. All right, now we use this piece. So I'm gonna pull this out of the way to show you what's happening. I'm gonna pull this out for now just so you can see there's a hole right here. So this normally gets stored in the box. I'm gonna put this in the 67-inch side, like that. Put this back in the box. What that did is push this down 2 inches. That pin pushed this box down 2 inches, which in turn makes this 2 inches taller. Does that make sense? Okay. Because I'm using a 3-inch post today and this box is not made for that, I can't get my reveal. See this? Okay. I can't get my reveal because it's in the track. So what I gotta do for today, you guys notice I put that mark on there? That's my 2-inch for today. Oh yeah. So you're saying there's a chance. Now if I did that right, that'll be our gate box with a 3-inch gap for our 3-inch post. And the rail will come up here and this will be our opening. So I showed you how to build a standard box, showed you how to build a standard gate box, and then showed you how to modify and make a 3-inch gate box. Now you know. KING+PostBoxThrone. All right, then the next plan of action is we'll put this box over there. We can pack out 2x4s. I want to talk about the process before we get going. On a normal day, you're going to set your equalizer up, you're going to set your key post, you're going to drive your post while someone's building boxes if you don't pre-build them, and packing out the boxes. Pay attention to what Chris was doing. Chris put 1 nail in all those boxes and on purpose missed the steel post. That 1 nail is just to keep it from falling over, from the wind catching that box and hitting the ground. If one of these boxes hits the ground, it'll typically crack the picket. And then we're back to building a new box. So that predictability, that consistency we talk about, if you just make that part of your process, it will save you a couple of boxes and headache down the road. Just put that one nail. Just put one nail in there to keep from falling over. All right, so once that goes in, once these boxes go in, then 2x4s will get packed out. Don't pack out 2x4s without boxes. If you're saying, well, what else is there? Maybe I need something to do. Well, put on boxes, build boxes. We just want to pack out material just in time. That's for every cell of fence we build. Do not move material until we're ready for material. In this case, it would cause safety hazard, tripping hazard, if the boxes are laying on the ground and the 2x4s are there, or if you're carrying boxes to the post and there's 2x4s in the way, that's a safety hazard. You can also ruin material. Material gets dirty that way. You're picking it up and putting it back down. People pay a lot of money to go to the gym and pick up heavy weights and put them back down. When you pick up 2x4s, carry them back here and lay them on the ground, out of the way, we got to pick them back up and move them in the way, right? Pickets the same way. Don't pack out pickets today until the fence is pin nailed, balanced, and sighted in. Nothing gets packed out. Because when they do pack them out, I want to pack them to exactly the spot we're going to use them at, and we're going to use them right there. We don't want to move them twice, all right? So from this point, we have all our boxes out, so 2x4s go out. It's going to be 4 rails per section. They're 20 foot long. They're going to span 2 sections. We need to stagger them. So 2 rails to start with are going to cut to 10 footers. So we have 2 10s and 2 20s, and then we stagger that pattern. 2 10s, 2 20s. Mark every single post. So the people that built these boxes is my team. I got to talk to them and preach to the choir why they should be marking boxes. But go mark every single box. 26 and a half, 56 and a quarter, 26 and a half, 56 and a quarter. Okay, mark all the boxes for that. Pack out 2x4s, nail guns,